All right, so there were some questions about putting eyeballs in there. I did cover it before, but just to show you how to do this. Also, if you want to put hair or something else in there with your design, I'm just going to show you how you can go about doing that. So one thing you could do is you could do it directly in here. I don't suggest this way. I'll just show you just because it's kind of a pain. But if you just went to create mesh, and then you could do a, where are you? Sphere. Okay, you'll see a sphere here. You can go to select move tools, go to translate. You can see you have the sphere selected in there. You can also just make sure it's selected in the object list here. And then you could try to position it. And then, hit scale. Oops. And yeah. And yeah. And yeah. You can keep doing that. I'm honestly not a huge fan of that way. I just think it's kind of a pain. So instead, I'm just going to select it and hit delete. You might have to select it in here in order to get it to work. Instead, I'm just going to use Maya. Especially if you've already used Maya and you know Maya, then just use that. I think it's just easier. Because even if I make that eyeball, I still have to make a second one. It's just not that great. So anyway, what I would do is just make sure you're at the lowest level, just to make things a little bit easier. So here's my level of my dude. Just select your guy in the object list, file, export selection, and then export it. Then, let me just do it. Export selection, and then just make sure it's an OBJ, okay? And then in Maya, you're just going to import it. So you just do file, import, and then you'll grab the ugly frog. Let me see. Is this alphabetical? It is. No. Okay. Ugly frog. And then ugly frog, Maya the mud bar. Nope. This one. All right. And then you'll have your model in here that you can then make the various things that you need to. So for the eyes, it's pretty obvious. Just literally make a sphere. You can click on here, or you go to create, polygon primitive sphere. Hit W for the move tool. It's probably going to put it right in the center. And then you just use these arrows. All right. You can see the eye's pretty small here. So I'm just going to hit R for scale. There's also, you can see the manipulators over here if you didn't remove that. I just don't like the toolbar. I don't find it particularly useful. And then, place it. I like to rotate it so that it's facing outwards. So I'm just going to do minus 90 in my channel box. If this isn't here, it's this little thing here. All right. So go something like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. That looks pretty acceptable. Actually, it doesn't. It's pretty bad. Hang on. Okay. If you look, you can see it's kind of low poly. Yours might not be. I'm just going to hit poly smooth, which is this right here. Or make sure in the modeling toolkit, you can just go to mesh smooth. That's the same thing. But I just wanted a little bit higher res. Okay. Then once I have that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the pivot to the center here. Okay. So I'm going to hit this to make the wireframe so I can see it. But you don't have to. And then I'm going to tap D. Okay. And then all you got to do is hold V like very voracious. I'm going to hold V. You can see it turn to a little circle. And I'm just going to snap that to the center. See how it's on the center? Okay. Then I'll just hit D again. That just moved the pivot. D puts it in moving pivot mode. That's what D does. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate this 180 degrees. So I'm going to duplicate it first by hitting Control D, like dead dog. And then I'm going to hit E for rotate. And you see it's the 90. It's on X. See how there's a red here? You can see right here. These are the axes. So it's the X. And I'm just going to type in 180. And then I can see the eyeball on the other side. Okay, so that's how to get two eyeballs on either side. You could probably just do something like that, and that should work. Okay, and these will already be UV, so you don't have to do anything with them. Now, if you wanted to do hair, there's a couple of different ways to go about doing this. I'll just cover one way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my guy here, and I'm just going to hit Control D to duplicate him. So you're going to see, or maybe I hit Control S, Control D. Just so you see, if I move this up, you'll see there's two of them now. Okay. Now, after I have this one selected, I only want to see it. So to only see it, you can just go to Show, Isolate Selected, View Selected, or you can hit Control I. And now only that's selected. See how it says Isolate Persp? You see the eyes went away, and the other version of it went away. So now if I move it, you see the other one's gone. They're still there. It's just only showing me this. Then what I do is I just draw the line that I want to have for my model. So I'm going to grab this poly cut tool, and I'm just literally going to draw this around. You know what, actually? What might work better for you guys, since you guys aren't used to that? You could do something. Well, I'll show you this way. Okay, so anyways, I would draw out what I wanted for the hairline here, right? So I'm just gonna start from the center, although it's not letting me. Go like this, and you just click from side to side. It's just like a scalpel, right? So we'll just say, I don't know what I want his hair to look like. Okay, and then I'll hit enter. And we'll say I want that to be the shape that's my hair. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Q so I don't have that tool on anymore. And I'm going to right click, drag down to face. Then I just need to grab these faces. Really easy ways, if you hold down tab, you'll see it turns into paint select mode. And I'm just going to go ahead and go like this. Make sure also I had this on object X so that it was, you know, there you go. So now I have that selected. Okay, so that's the only part I actually want. I don't want the rest of it. So what I'm going to do is hold shift and drag over the whole thing. That's going to invert my selection, and then I'm going to hit delete. So now the only thing left is this little piece here, okay? From there, I'm just going to right click, drag up to object mode, right click and hold, and then I'll hit extrude. And then I'm just going to pull it up like so. All right. And then I'm going to right click, drag over to object mode, and I'm going to have nothing selected, and then I'll hit Shift I, or just go to show, isolate selected, and just turn view selected off, and that'll bring everything back. And now I can see my hair shape, which isn't super great, but it's there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to poly smooth it so it's a little bit easier to work with. And then you can probably use this to do some shaping and stuff with. You can see like there's actually sculpt tools in here as well. So you can, let me make this much smaller. There it goes. And I could kind of pull this and like, so if I want it to be more of like I'm picturing it being more of this kind of shape. Right? We'll just say that that's his hair shape for now, okay? Don't worry about shaping it, though. That's not that big of a deal. All right. So let's say we got those. That looks fine. We're going to call that his hair. You can do whatever you want for your hair. Then what I want to do is just export. Before I export this out, this actually needs to be UV'd. So I'm just going to go to UV and just do automatic. I'm not going to bother doing a bunch of UVs for it. If we went to UV editor, we could do the whole thing. And if you wanted to, you can, but I'm just picturing that you probably don't. So I'm just going to do UV automatic, and we'll say that that's acceptable. Then we just need to export these out. So I'm going to select the hair, the eyeball, and the other eyeball. I don't care about selecting the frog because we already have that in there. I'm going to select those three things. Actually, you know what? I'm going to select one at a time. I'm going to select the hair. Actually, let's do the eyeballs first. Select the eyeballs, file, export selection, and then make sure they're going to the right thing here. Where's ugly frog? Ugly frog. And we'll just say frog eyes. And make sure they're exporting as OBJ. Grab this. And I'll do the same thing again. File, export selection. And we'll just call this frog. Okay, thought I was typing. Is it crashing? What's going on? Okay, there it goes. Frog hair, export selection. And then I don't need this anymore. You can close that out, whatever. Okay. Now, inside of here, we just need to import those. So just do File, Import, and then you'll see frog eyes. Just make sure you go to where you put them, import, and then you'll see the OBJs are right there. Now, what I'll suggest is it's going to bring in these two spheres, okay? I would lock them just so that you don't accidentally mess with them. So you'll see right here is the lock. So click there to lock and lock. And now the eyes are locked, so you don't have to worry about messing with those. And the other thing was the hair, right? So then again, File, Import, and let's do frog hair, import, and boom, there's the hair. All right. Now, what you can do again with the hair is you can lock it or not lock it. You could maybe lock the guy here and then just work on the hair and do what you want there. And then, you know, when you're ready to work on the guy, click this off and lock the hair and then just work on the guy. But you can kind of go back and forth. So let's just say I want to do more with the hair. So I'm just going to lock the guy. I'm going to click on the hair here. I'm going to then control click on it. Just make sure you're in object list. Okay. Then if you go to your layers, you can start sculpting it and stuff. Now, if you want, just because like this is obviously kind of not that great, I could actually just go ahead and start doing like the tessellated mode so that I could actually, you know, let's see, actually make this look, yeah, go ahead and tessellate. Make this look the way, oops, I thought it was on grab. Make this look the way that I want, you know. Then we'll just do sculpt. We'll just smooth this down. But then we'll do like smaller brush strokes across. Actually, let's stamp. Where are you? This might work. Let's control, you know. Make sure I didn't put Object X, but you get the idea. Smooth that out. You know, and I could sculpt it and make it look the way that I actually want. You know, add strands and, you know, that sort of thing. Whatever it's supposed to look like. Maybe your guy's emo. I don't know. Oh, this is on tessellated, that's why. But you get the idea, right? So then you would make your hair. Now, the only problem with this, when you do this, obviously the UVs are going to be somewhat messed up. So, you know, you can send it back out and retopologize it and all that other stuff, but that's kind of up to you. But anyways, then when you're done with the hair, you can just go to your object list, lock the hair now, and then unlock your model. Just click on it and then control click so it's not highlighted. And then you can go back to sculpting on your dude. And you can see the nice thing is, let's page up, page up, page up. Okay. You know, I can go ahead and make sure I'm going to turn tessellation back off. Oops. Okay. And, you know, you could sculpt like the eyelids now because you got the sphere there to kind of see where it needs to be. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. All right. So that's how you would generally do like kind of hair and that. And you could do that for other things too. Like if you wanted to make like a strap or something, you could also do that in Maya. Especially if you know how to use Maya, feel free to, you know, elaborate and do whatever you want in there. All right. Hopefully that's helpful.